Hello, readers, and thank you for joining me for another phonics lesson. This week, we are beginning a brand new unit on suffixes. And today, we're going to look at the suffix ful. But as we get started, I do want to point out some things that we need to know. Like I said, our phonics skill this week is learning about these suffixes, and we're going to learn about all of these this week. ly, lee, ful, full, less, less, and or. Now, suffixes go at the end of a word and they change or they add to the definition of a word. Now, you may have heard the word prefix or suffix before. Prefixes go at the beginning, but this week we're just looking at suffixes. Those go at the end. So this lesson today, we're really going to look at just this suffix only. So we're going to look at the suffix ful, F-U-L. And when you see this suffix, it means full of or having the qualities of. So someone who is joyful is full of joy. They're having the qualities of joy. So when you see them, you see joy because they're just got so much joy in them. So that's how that means. So this week with these words, we're not just going to look at how to code them and how to decode them and how to read them, but we're also going to look at a little bit about what those words mean, because that's going to help you when you're reading as well. Not just being able to read it, but being able to understand it as well. So let's get started. Our first word today is cheerful. Now, when we're labeling, the question is, how do we label words with suffixes? Because we just finished learning about syllables. How do we break this up into syllables? Do the syllable rules still apply? They do, sort of, but everything has a rule. So when you see a suffix in a word, instead of labeling the vowels first, like what we did the past few weeks, you're going to first look, do I see a suffix or prefix? But this week, do I see a suffix? And if I do, and I do right here, ful, I'm going to box it in. So I'm going to draw a box around this suffix ful. Now, once I've done that, now I can label the vowels. And what are the vowels in this one? You probably see two. You see two different vowel teams. I know you see EE and UL. So now, do I build a bridge? Do I label the consonants? On a word like this one in particular, the answer is actually no, you don't. And there's a reason why. Full by itself, that suffix, that's already a syllable by itself. So that split's been done. And if I look at everything before that, I only see one vowel. It's a vowel team. So since there's only one vowel, and every syllable has to have a vowel, we know this is just one syllable. So we don't have to break that up at all. So I could read it, cheer, full, cheerful. Now, what does cheerful mean when full is added to cheer? It means you're full of cheer. Now, I'm not talking about a cheerleader, although they have to be full of cheer too. They have full of cheer, similar to the word joy, somebody who's always happy and excited. Our next word, can you read it? Helpful is correct. Do you see a syllable? Do you see a suffix? What is it? Full, that's right. And we're going to draw a box around that full. Now that we've drawn the box, what do? Again, we label the vowels. And this one I see an E here, and I see another vowel team, UL. Again, how many vowels are in front of the box? Only one. So do I need to split it up, or do I need to draw a line? I don't. It's already boxed. So I can sound this out. Help, full, helpful. Oops, that says cheerful. That should say helpful. What does helpful mean when full is added to help? Now you might be thinking, full of help? Maybe if someone's helping a lot of people, they may have that ability to be full of help, but it's giving or having the quality of helping. So if somebody is helping people a lot, that means they're very helpful. Now we have another word. Again, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to box the full. That's correct. And what's the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to label the vowels. Now, I only labeled these two vowels in front of the box. And you might be thinking, but there's another vowel. There is. There's a vowel team back here in full. However, when you're working with words, you always want to start at the beginning and work your way back. And so I'm going to start at the beginning of my word, and once I find two, I have to stop. So if I find two, that probably means I have two syllables. So let's stop and let's look at this word. If I have two vowels, then I probably need to go ahead and go through my process. Now, do you remember the process for breaking up syllables? If not, I'll put a link below in the comments to see our lessons on syllables. But for now, just know that when you see two vowels, especially if they're in front of a box or in front of a suffix, we're going to go ahead and build our bridge. Now, do you remember what goes on the bridge? The consonants, that's right. And what consonant is above this bridge? Just the V, that's right. So we're going to label that with a C. Now, once we've done that, we have to decide where am I going to split it. Now, I have two choices. I can split it here, or I can split it here behind the consonant. Now, one thing I do want to tell you that most of the time, the split goes here. I read this week or last week that about 60% of the time. So most of the time it starts there. So always try there first. And if the word doesn't sound right, then try the other one. So let's stop right here. That makes this an open syllable where the A would say its name. So we're going to sound that out. Flay. Flay. Flavor. Oh, that sounds familiar. That's a word I know. Flavorful. Flavorful. I think that is right. And again, what kind of syllable is this? Open, closed? It's open. And what about this one right here? Not the suffix, but this one. R controlled. That's right. This one's open because nothing's protecting that A, and this is R controlled because there's an R controlled vowel here. So say it with me again. Flavorful. Flavorful. And what does flavorful mean when full is added to flavor? It's full of flavor. You might have gotten something to eat and it just tasted so good, had all these great flavors to it, like a piece of pizza. And you would say that's flavorful because it's full of flavor. Let's do one more, and then we're going to do some silent blending. Again, what's our first step? I should be looking. Do I see a suffix? I do. So what am I going to do to my suffix? I'm going to draw a box. After I've labeled my suffix or boxed my suffix, what do I do next? Label the vowels. That's right. And so we have a vowel here and we have an R-controlled vowel here. That means I stop. There's going to be a split. So when I have two vowels in front of the box, again, what's my first step? Build a bridge. That's right. And what do I put on my bridge? The consonants. What consonants do I see? An N and a D. That's right. Oh, two consonants. Do you remember the rule on VCCV? This one gets really easy to split up. When it's a VCCV, where does the break always go, or almost always go? In between the two consonants. That's right. So I'm going to put that between the two consonants. And then I'm going to sound it out. One, wonder, wonderful, wonderful. It's wonderful that you're learning to read so well. So that obviously is a closed syllable because there's an N behind that O, so that closes it. Now this really doesn't make a short vowel, it maybe makes more of a schwa, but it still is a closed syllable. And then of course this one is R controlled, RC, because it ends with, it has an ER or an R controlled vowel in it. Now I put the definite answer there. That was an accident. What does wonderful mean when full is added to wonder? It means having the quality of wonder. It's amazing. It's wonderful. think you're wonderful. Let's go over these sounds that we've already learned this year. Say these with me, please. Cool, sn, sh, whir, sw, w, ing, or, I, a, I, e, oo. Very good. Now, are you ready for some silent blending? These are all going to be multisyllabic words with suffixes. So they're at least going to have 2 syllables, maybe more. So let's give them a try. Remember, don't read the word until the whole thing is there. Let's get started. Useful. Hopeful. Playful. Peaceful. Skillful. Thankful. Careful. Joyful. Forgetful. Colorful. Powerful. Beautiful. How'd you do? I think you did fantastic. Guys, if you want to pause the video right now and pick out some words and try to break them up with the things that we've learned today, boxing the suffixes, labeling the vowels, maybe drawing a bridge if it's needed. Some of these it is needed, some of these it's not. Can you figure out which ones? Either way, whatever choice you make, I hope it's a great day with it. And until next time, happy reading.